Famous quotes about satisfying a woman. The ability for a woman to orally satisfy somebody in a rock band, that's important to a rock and roll musician. A man who brags about satisfying 30 women is immature. A real man is one who can satisfy the same woman for 30 years. When a woman loves you, she's not satisfied until she possesses your soul. Because she's weak, she has a rage for domination, and nothing less will satisfy her. A man's honor always seems to want to kill a woman to satisfy it. A woman can only satisfy and fulfill herself, I understood, when she establishes her own authority and see beyond equality, realizing how terrible and damaging her own power, if unleashed, might be. Plus, I've seen 2 of the 9 naked today. Nice bit of eye candy for a woman with a ferocious sweet tooth and no way to satisfy it. There is no man on the face of the earth who can satisfy the deepest longings of a woman's heart. God made us in such a way that we can never be truly satisfied with anything or anyone less than himself. Some men still don't believe that a woman's sexual appetite can be as important to satisfy as theirs. Or they don't believe a woman's sex life can or should be as varied, complex, and interesting. Which baffles me, because, who are these men having sex with? I went to Sunday school, Anastasia. It taught me a great deal. Catechism. Guilt. And that God abandoned me, long ago. Even if the whole earth and sea were turned to gold, they could hardly satisfy the avarice of a woman. You can more easily scratch a diamond with your fingernail than you can by any human ingenuity get a woman to consent to give any of her savings. To look away from the world, or to stare at it, does not help a man to reach God, but he who sees the world in him, stands in his presence. You're one of those kinds of women, those kinds of people I should say, as am I. And what kind of woman is that? Mary was very curious and excited now. A woman who is not satisfied doing only what society says, should satisfy her. Whether the woman shares the man's passion or not, whether she is willing or unwilling to satisfy it, she always repulses him and defends herself, though not always with the same vigor, and therefore not always with the same success. He left, and I wished I could go somewhere and start all over, which is how I've felt all my life. As soon as I get somewhere, I'm ready to leave. And telling you, I care about you is a waste of time. I wouldn't have crossed the ocean, come out of hiding, tracked you down if you didn't matter to me. A whirlwind tour, I think, with each day starting in a different city, you wearing a different silk dress, tasting food the likes of which you cannot even imagine, and learning how to weave your word spells in all the world's languages. Obviously, my daughter keeps me motivated, but I've got a really great support system. Having my husband and my mother and my family really support me, so that I can not only provide for my daughter, but can set up a future that creates a better life for her. Sometimes, doing your best is not good enough. Sometimes you must do what is required. A romantic novel is an adult fairy story, repeating the recurring symbols and images which can explain life to a woman and satisfy a powerful need within her. The need to love and be loved is vital to all human beings, but especially to women. For everybody knows that it requires very little to satisfy the gentleman if a woman will only give her mind to it. He was no longer an individual, functioning solely to satisfy his personal needs. Something now bound him to every other man and woman in this hangar. Friendship is a sacred possession. Like air, water, and sunshine to flowers, trees, and verdure, so smiles, sympathy, and love of friends to the daily life of man. To live, laugh, love one's friends, and be loved by them is to bask in the sunshine of life. Vanity is but the surface. The Samoan puts the burden of amatory success upon the man and believes that women need more initiating, more time for maturing of sexual feelings. A man who fails to satisfy a woman is looked upon as a clumsy, inept blunderer.